Martins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Grassroot Chats, episode 11. This week, luckily, we have one less member because it means that there's less heat to come on the great United after the wonderful weekend we've had. But joining me this week is AK47 from the wonderful South Side, and of course, the Not London boys, Mr. Thanos and Mike N. What is happening, boys? First of all, how was your weekend? How was your weekend? Get it all out. Get it all out. Start laughing. Get it all out. Get it all out.
My weekend was good. My weekend was good.
Wonderful weekend.
Misery loves company. So I can tell that these boys are happy. I've never seen you guys happy for another result like yesterday's result.
I would tell you facts. I watched the Man United replay more than I watched my own replay against Villa. I watched your replay over and I watched all the analysis. I watched everything about that 5-0 beatdown.
It was a good weekend. Tottenham lost, Man United lost.
I don't know about all the other games. I just know Arsenal won. I think
United lost.
United they didn't lose.
They got battered.
Murdered.
Okay. So other than that, I was hoping Lewis Hamilton would save me, but he didn't.
No one cares about any other sport right now. In the factory.
You got the Manchester United mug as well. I'm impressed.
Nobody's been talking about a Classico as well.
Yeah, no one.
It's all about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So so we're going to jump back on this wagon again and just see what's happening. So I remember I said a couple of episodes ago, I'm not yet on the Ole out wagon. However, there's only so much a man can do to shoot himself in the foot. And in my opinion, as much as I love the guy, I want it to work, but a very big mistake was made yesterday, and the fact that he actually made the mistake twice just tells me I'm still not on the wagon, but clearly.
What was the mistake, sorry?
I'm still not, okay, so you guys will help me out here when you manage to look past laughing at me and all that. But this is the mistake. So in the Champions League against Atalanta, he played 4-2-4, where he played two holding pretty much in terms of McTominay and Fred. And then he played Rashford, Ronaldo, Greenwood, and Bruno Fernandes. Now, bearing in mind that the first half against Atalanta was terrible. It was terrible. We considered 2 goals, and Atlanta had 6 of their key players not playing. Managed to turn it around in the second half. And I remember Paul Scholes on BT Sports, shout out to Paul Scholes, was saying, you try this against the team on Sunday, and in the first half, the game will be over. It was a writing on the wall. I mean, nobody said it even any better. Solskjaer decides to refrain from the normal counter-attacking football, which he always plays against Liverpool, which at least kind of works when we play at home, a draw at least or something, making it difficult for Liverpool. Because Liverpool, as much as they love the counter-attack, they don't really like to hold the ball as much. So they prefer to counter-attack. So if they're playing a team that's counter-attack, trouble. But Ole took the 4-2-4 and then went to Liverpool. Bruno Fernandes was injured, had a big knock. He was clearly not in the game. Cristiano Ronaldo, lack of supply. And not to mention, let me not even start with the beautiful, beautiful captain of ours, Maguire. However, let us just start straight to the point. I'll start with AK, because me and AK have been talking offline. AK has a lot of things on his chest. I'll start with AK. AK, what did Ole get wrong, and should Ole be sacked? Straight to the point.
I was like you before, give him more time and everything, but to be honest, I think Man United needs to start looking in a new direction. They need a higher elite manager, just because where they want to go to, I don't think Ole is the guy to take them to that next level. He's done all right in terms of galvanizing the team. To be honest, if they sacked him tomorrow, he's not been a failure in the sense that he came in at a time when United literally was in disarray, thanks to Jose Mourinho. So I think he's done everything that's been asked of him to do. But now United needs to go to that next level, which is literally trying to compete for the Premier League and try to win a title. Looking at the game yesterday, Ole has some problems. It has some interesting problems, which is the problem of signing Cristiano Ronaldo. So when you look at the teams that Cristiano Ronaldo has played for, which is Real Madrid and Juventus, these teams were literally facilitated to make him succeed. So even look at Allegri, who is like respected as a very tactically astute manager, could not even play Ronaldo and Dybala. Something had to give, right? So I think Ole has to make some very serious decisions. If you're going to play Ronaldo, which I think you should build your team around Ronaldo, you've got to surround him with hardworking players, people that work like dogs, and just just give him the chance to score. When you talked about 4-2-4, 4-2-4 is only because what's his name? Bruno Fernandes is very greedy. He's trying to score a goal at all costs. So that's why there's that gap between him and the rest of the other two midfielders. And you can see yesterday, he's playing so advanced, so forward. So obviously it makes the midfield so open. I'm not digging him out or criticizing him. I'm just saying.
Well, you are though.
No. I'm saying if you're going to play Ronaldo, who is obviously an expensive luxury player, you can't play him with people like Fernandes. Maybe he has to think of another formation like 3-5-2, play Ronaldo up front, and then surround him with like three hardworking midfielders, Matic, Van de Beek, and McTominay. Very pragmatic lineup. They've got to make these hard decisions. That's why they pay you so much money as the manager.
Okay, so before we'll come back to AK's point, which is very interesting because AK believes that Bruno Fernandes is greedy and is. Oh, hi Karim, how are you? What? You good? You're here?
Even though we lost this weekend, I'm great after your result, man. I just wanted to say congratulations on actually holding a whooping at the Old Trafford. Big up Salah for making you lot feel a certain way. I want to say well done to Arsenal as well on the weekend. I mean, I'm in a good mood, man. I'm in a good mood.
Man, I'm more happy at this result than their own club results. This is fantastic.
I'm happy, bro. I'm happy. But the only thing I'm disappointed about is that now Oli might go. So that's the only thing that...
He won't go.
Well, not that you dropped in a good time where AK has pretty much said Bruno Fernandes is too greedy and shouldn't be playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, especially in the formation of 4-2-4. So, as I said, we'll get back to AK. Mike, first of all, what do you think? AK has said if Solskjaer gets sacked, it won't be a failure. He has done well. He has put Man United in. What do you think he's getting wrong, and what do you think? Do you think he can actually save this, given the chance?
The bottom line is, he's done all he can do within his capabilities. Yeah, he's not an elite manager. He hasn't got any elite staff around him. He's got Carrick and those waste man. It's their first job as well. Yeah, let's be honest. It's like YTS out here. You're Man United and you do. If it was Palace, Arsenal at the moment, you can get away with that sort of thing, but you can't get away with that sort of thing when you're talking about challenging for the title and you've got man on YTS. It's just not going to work. So if he's managing Palace and you get beat 5-0 by City, no one's going to say nothing. You managing Man United and you're challenging for the title and you get beat 5-0 by Liverpool, this is what happens. So he's done all he can do. He can't do more than this. He's just not that level. It's just, that's as simple as that. And you're not going to give him that time to get to that level. So for me, he just sees out this season, and then next season you get a new manager, because technically you could still win the league, but with Ole, how? I just can't see. He just doesn't have the tools. It's nothing against the guy. He just hasn't got the tools.
So with all the players that he has, so he has wonderful. Man United has key players and players that can pretty much play and make things happen. Make things stick. So, Steve, what do you think is the problem here? Because you mentioned something about you think he has lost the dressing room. Why do you think he has lost the dressing room?
Because Ole's biggest problem is that he wants to be liked, for me. He's not prepared to make the tough decisions that goes against what the fans think, or even the players, which is more key. The only one he will do that with is Pogba, because that's an easy one. But to say, like, leave Rashford out, leave Greenwood out, you got Sancho sitting on the bench. You don't play Ronaldo and Fernandes together in that formation. He's trying to defend a goal with 6 players, because those 4 men are not working back.
Well,
But then
change the formation.
Yeah, but then you're gonna upset someone. And at the moment, I don't get the feeling that Solskjaer is willing to upset people at the playing stuff.
I don't think it matters what he does. He's just not at that level.
Every manager starts somewhere, yeah. If he makes the tough decisions, yeah, to say, all right, for this game, I'm not gonna play Ronaldo. I'm better suited to having Cavani up front. I'm not gonna play Greenwood because I need Jordan Sancho. He needs to make those. He's not doing that. Look at Klopp yesterday.
I mean,
right? Klopp left Mane out. Klopp left Mane out and played Jota.
Steve, to be fair though. So in terms of when people say, "Oh, he doesn't make tough decisions," I disagree sometimes. Against Everton, he did drop Ronaldo. We started with Cavani, and the press was from the front. Anthony Martial had a very good game till he got injured and had to be taken out. So in terms of upsetting or not upsetting, I don't really think I mean, Ole looks like a nice guy, blah blah, but I don't really think he does the nice man thing. However, Karim, as a man that knows all about losing, what do you?
Why is Arsenal fans laughing when we're above them on the table?
How
long? How is that gonna last?
We're talking about present sense, my guy.
Well, what do you say? So I mean, so AK thinks AK thinks, Ole has done all he can do. The formation is wrong and he doesn't want to upset players like Steve. Mike thinks that's it. There's nothing much that he can do. Was it just the formation he got wrong against Liverpool? Or obviously, we saw warning signs from the beginning of season. Gary Neville had always said that once Man United plays a more than decent team, they will get beaten. So are you on the wagon of that's it, Ole, thank you very much, see you, bye-bye?
I believe he's just out of his depth for taking a job like that.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I feel like his technical knowledge is not really there. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to react when you go down. I think he's just got a game plan when he goes into a game and sticks to it. So when it went tits up straight away, he just didn't know how to react really. I think other than the first 11, I don't think he knows what to do after that really. And yesterday just showed.
React though. Man United are the comeback kings. More points than anybody.
I feel like in the previous eras, yeah, totally. But I just think he's out of his depth, if I'm honest, bro.
Well,
part and parcel of also being a top manager, it's like you've got to be able to make the tough decisions. Look at Pep Guardiola, right? Like he's made it clear to Sterling, like the only way you can get back into the team is to try and play center forward position. The last match, Kevin De Bruyne started from the bench. So what I don't understand with Ole is I've never seen him bench Bruno Fernandes. Those kind of little decisions. Look at Harry Maguire was so unfit against Leicester, but for some reason, an unfit Harry Maguire is better than a fit Eric Bailly. And that's only because he cannot upset Maguire. And obviously, we saw the consequences of these kind of decisions. More he lost. I think this is his problem, one of his biggest problems.
No, yeah, I agree. Okay, that's probably the problem, getting the formation, tactics, and personnel right. So if you got that right, he'd be better. But you can't escape the fact that he's just not an elite manager. He's not capable. You'd have to have an extreme set of circumstances to win the league, just like a Leicester season. You'd have to have an extreme set of circumstances to win the league, because by himself, with his own knowledge, he's not going to, even with the talent he's got, he's just not going to outthink the big boys. Give an example, Villa are playing Arsenal. Arsenal are smashing Villa at one point when they go free at the back. Dean Smith changes it, puts 4 at the back, changes the formation, they become more solid. Yes, they lost the game, but they became more solid. But he ain't going to do that. Or he's just going to say, guys, just keep playing.
This is Ole that finished second last season, though, with a weaker team. So
in a COVID season, in a COVID season when everybody was dead. You're gonna.
What do you mean everybody was dead? Man United playing The Walking Dead. What do you mean everybody was dead?
all the teams that season were below par. Let's be honest.
I think he's got tougher decisions this season because Maguire's now not seen as the number 1 centre back of the club. Varane will be.
We have Maguire. The pairing is Maguire and Varane, though. But I've said it on this show many times. Every single person here has told me I'm being too harsh on Maguire. I'm not even close to AK and his love for Pogba. When it comes to
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
We have to get to Pogba later.
I've been laughing at that £80 million you lot pay for Maguire since it happened. Yeah, Maguire's, to me, he's not even an elite defender. So the Varane coming in knocks his confidence. Ronaldo coming in has an effect on the players. They're not. I think Gary Neville said it yesterday, which was pretty good, summed up really well, when he said that the players are not prepared to work for Ronaldo. They think they are Ronaldo. Yeah, they all think they're elite players. They all think they're the number one guy at the club.
Exactly.
And they're not playing as a team.
Because the manager can't galvanize them into a team because he's just not, he's out of his depth, like Karim says. That's it. He's got the tools.
Yeah, but I don't even think that's I don't think that's to do with tactics or not. I just don't think his personality would lend him to do that.
But that's part of being a top manager, isn't it? Part of being a top manager is to bend people to your, or not necessarily bend, but get people to do what you want to do and believe in what you're doing. He's not at that level where Klopp can change the way that Liverpool play, and now they've got a sellable style of play. Tuchel did it in a short space of time with Chelsea. He's a top level manager. Think about Pep, that's next levels. But even Tuchel,
I just don't think Ole has this whole, everyone, how can I say, everyone likes him. He's a club legend. No one's talking about him being there on managerial qualifications, more managerial merit.
Not that you say that.
But wait, he can galvanize make the team and the fans bond, but he can't make the team bond because the stars are too big for him to handle, in my view.
Yeah, so he's not equipped for it.
To be in the mistakes that Ole is making, one of the reasons why, if I'm forced to say you must pick whether Ole is in or out and all that story, one of the reasons I'll say he should be out is, so I don't think he has a problem in terms of big stars and stuff. Where my issue comes in with Ole is, if you want to bench a player, at least bench them based on form. Maguire has been terrible. It's not consistent enough to be a top elite defender, unfortunately. He's not, and he has not managed to, play to your capability. I know I'm not fast. I know I'm good in the air, but he makes too many mistakes and is the captain. Apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, in terms of sometimes, as AK says, play the team around and see what happens. But then he's trying other different things. Now, I'm sure all of you are in agreement in terms of his technicality. You don't think he's good. You don't think,
no, he's good. He's just not good enough for Man United.
You don't think there's nothing. The other thing is more he can add. So I'll start with Karim. Karim, AK believes that Bruno Fernandes should be benched for Manchester United.
Or benched or given a new role. So they have to redefine his role. I understand the problem Fernandes has. He was the star of the team before Ronaldo came. Before Ronaldo came, he was the star of the team, had no tactical discipline, roaming about, shooting from any left, right, center, scoring goals. Now Ronaldo has come. He can't keep playing like that. Something has to give. So it has to now work for Ronaldo. Benzema did that in Real Madrid. Every good player have done that for Ronaldo all through the years. He's got to do it for Ronaldo now, or he needs to go to the bench.
Do you agree with that, Karim? This is Bruno Fernandes that has pretty much been instrumental to Man United's rise for the past 18 months. He still is the highest in terms of assists for the team, the highest creator. And AK believes in 9 games that we've played in the Premier League, that all of a sudden Bruno Fernandes should be benched. What do you think, Karim?
I don't think he should be benched, but I'm probably also going to say that I don't think he should play for Ronaldo either. I feel like he is the star player for Man United, and Ronaldo has come back. Ronaldo has come back, but has he really been like the Ronaldo that we're used to seeing in the past seasons? Like, this is my personal opinion. I just don't think he's been that star player, and I just feel like Bruno Fernandes should just continue doing what he was doing before, because it worked. As you said, he finished second last season. It worked. So Ronaldo should really adapt his game to that Man United. That's my personal opinion.
But Steve and Mike are shaking their head. Let's start with Steve. Steve, what do you think?
I'm of the same opinion of AK. Yeah, I understand what Bruno Fernandes has done for Man United for the last 18 months. Hats off to be done well. But you've signed probably one of the best players ever to play the game, to come back to the club, to win trophies. So you have to adapt your side to his strengths. It's as simple as that. And it's not to say necessarily bench Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes has to
adapt,
just take a step back and say, the big guys here, I need to adapt my game to get more assists to him and not score as much, play a bit deeper and stuff. And that's football. To me, that's football intelligence.
Okay, so the fact that it hasn't worked then what? Because clearly Ronaldo, as we've seen by the stats, he doesn't chase. He's not that same player where he can chase at the front. So it's not working for them.
So it doesn't work.
So then in that instance, you drop Bruno Fernandes. Because
Yeah,
you can't put Ronaldo out wide. You can't put Ronaldo out.
First of all, I think it's
the game's changed, man.
Ronaldo ideally can only play one position, and it's the position he's playing at the moment. And all of a sudden, if you're talking about having hardworking midfielders and people adapting to their game, Bruno Fernandes plays with Ronaldo internationally. It works. Yes, you could argue that they have better players.
It doesn't work. I think we said this offline before. It doesn't work.
We'll get into that. Mike, what are you of this? First of all, why is everybody of the opinion that Bruno Fernandes doesn't want to adapt to the game or thinks he's still the same?
I don't know why people are saying that, but basically, I don't know. He may not be, but ultimately, you brought in Ronaldo as your marquee signing, so you're gonna have to build your team around him. Otherwise, don't sign him.
Yep.
So now you brought him in, you have to adapt. Whatever plan you had before you signed Ronaldo, it's gonna go out the window now. So you have to adapt. So whether that's dropping Pogba, whether that's dropping Fernandes, whether it's playing both of them and playing a single pivot behind them, I don't know. But you have to have a style of play that incorporates Ronaldo in your team, because he's going to want to play most of the games, and Ole ain't got the balls to say, "Look, boy, sit down."
And the other thing, it's not necessarily just Bruno Fernandes, but playing Greenwood. Greenwood's always cutting in on his left instead of playing Sancho, who's going to go down wide and cross the ball in for Ronaldo.
What's the formation? What is Julian will know, what is Man United's go-to formation to start with most of the time? 8 times out of 10.
Go-to formation has always been 4-5-1. But the 4-5-1, if you're playing Cavani in the 4-5-1, the press is there from the beginning.
Right.
And the press allows Cavani goes in, Bruno Fernandes goes in, and then you have a compact midfield where sometimes Pogba is the one that gets the unlucky straw and is picked on the left.
You know, it seems odd, yeah? But actually, signing Ronaldo in a way kind of set you guys back, because whatever team ethic you had in terms of style of play that you built in the last, which came second,
that's my point. That's my point. That's exactly what my point is. Like, it worked last year.
This is one of the reasons why you could say one of the reasons that you blame the manager in the sense, because Ronaldo.
I blame the club.
Even Ronaldo at his optimal prime in Man United was never a presser, never. So and then you had the likes of Jisung Park, Rooney, Tevez, all these guys, Darren Fletcher, all these guys that would, Gary Neville played their life out, dogs pretty much.
Yeah.
And now Ole has signed Ronaldo expecting the press to happen and expecting a forward line of 4 attacking players that will not even press backwards. But before we get to, I mean, as I said, we've already agreed that Ole has pretty much tactically inept, yada, yada, yada.
No, he's not inept, it's a bit harsh. He's just not at the level of Man United.
To be honest,
to say something, right? So we've seen this before Ronaldo left Man United to go to Real Madrid. Even Rooney and Tevez were working for Ronaldo. This is nothing new. Ferguson must have called the players together to say, listen, this guy is our marquee player. This guy is like potentially the world best player. Rooney had to adapt his game to suit Ronaldo. He was running for Ronaldo. In fact, in Champions League final against Chelsea, even Rooney was hooked up. You know, so
let me ask you this, Steve. Okay, we'll come back to you. You said Rooney and all these guys had to adapt their game. I don't know how much adapting they did, because those guys were, I mean, when you look at Tevez, when you look at Rooney, the way they played, they want to always be involved with the ball. Ronaldo, when we talk about Ronaldo in his first spell in Man United, you make it sound like he wasn't working hard. He was way hard. And yes, you could, as Gary Neville would say, yes, other players had to adapt because
he was excluded from defending. That's what I mean. He was excluded.
Yeah. So, Steve, let me ask you this. If you want players to adapt and you want things to happen, why do you guys actually think Bruno Fernandes is the guy that, once he changes his style?
That wasn't me.
No. I didn't say just Bruno Fernandes. I said Greenwood. I said Rashford. I said the 4 that's playing up top don't work. I even said that you can even start with Cavani at some games and leave Ronaldo off, depending on who you're playing against. You have to adapt the side. You have to have your ethic, but you also have to adapt the side so you're going to hurt the opposition the best. Yeah, Klopp done it yesterday. He put Mane to sit down and put Jota on.
Yeah,
because it suited the game for them better.
So So
yeah,
here's the-
but Ole doesn't seem like he's going to do that. He's going to go with 4: Rashford, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Fernandes. None of them are working back.
Yeah,
So
but
you're trying to defend against one of the best teams in Europe with 6 players, and your defense is whack already, and your midfield is whack. So you're just going to get battered. You know what I mean? You're just going to get. So that doesn't make any sense.
No, but here's the thing, yeah? You've got 2 ways you look at it. You bring in Ronaldo, fine. You've got a manager like Pep, who is very rigid in the way he wants to play, and egos don't matter. That's why KDB can sit his ass down, Sterling sit his ass down. Fine. That's one route, yeah? You've got another manager like Tuchel, who will adapt the system to suit, and I suppose Klopp to a certain degree, will adapt the system to the players he's got, yeah? But Ole's neither of those. Yeah, that's the problem. He's neither of those.
And the disappointing thing from a Man United point of view, it's not only Ole, right? Yeah, but you've got man like Mike Phelan on the coaching staff. So where's his voice? Because mate, you've been there, you've done it, you've been alongside Ferguson, you've been alongside Man. So where is your voice? Because surely he must see what's going on. He has to. All his experience in coaching, he should be taking the lead. And saying to Ole, you have to really sort this out. You know, because at the end of the day, his job's on the line. They replace Ole, Phelan's going to be gone as well.
I can also say, we're neglecting the fact, we're talking Ole all the time, but we're neglecting the fact that despite all these stars in the team, that squad isn't balanced. It's not balanced.
Yeah, but once again, when it comes to balance, it's still the manager that has to find the balance.
But was it him that
it's got to again talk to the players? Like I said, this conversation is very important. Like it's happened even with MSN. Remember when Suarez went to Barcelona? He was sulking in his first 10 games. He actually said, I didn't come to Barcelona to be given assists. I came to also score goals because Luis Enrique was playing on the right. It was until Luis Enrique called the 3 of them together and moved Messi to the right, put Suarez in the middle. But they had a game plan. The whole game plan was that when 2 of you get the ball, you have to wait for Messi to arrive in the box. You give him the ball to score. Messi is the main guy. He had to remind them. And the 2 of them became happy with the whole decisions. And that's how Messi and MSN worked. Solskjaer needs to call these Man United players together and remind them Ronaldo is the main guy. It's just that simple.
But, I mean, looking at that example in terms of telling 1 or 2 players, this guy's the main guy, do what you need to do, make things work, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we can go on forever when it comes to this Solskjaer, what to do, what not to do, play around Ronaldo, all that story.
What about midfield and defense? That's not good enough.
Thank you very much. So, I mean, I was about to say, I like the example you gave, but there's still other problems. The Barcelona team, they had a good problem, what you call, as you said, an interesting problem. The interesting problem is we have star players, we need to make them work. Every other person knows what position they're playing is good. But Man United, apart from the forward, the midfield is not good enough. Steve's word is whack. McTominay and Fred is not working. And then you expect those 2 players just to hold the middle when you're playing 4-2-4.
I will do what Liverpool does. Liverpool's midfield is nothing too spectacular. Look at the midfield on Sunday.
But they're well drilled. And they know their roles.
They work hard. Exactly. Know your role. Play the ball over the top to Saka.
But even with Klopp will never, even with that attacking situation, to tell you, even when he played Firmino, Jota, Mane, and Salah, he made 2 sit. Help the middle, not just everybody go and attack.
The problem is when you play people like Pogba that take 5 touches before they give the ball.
Oh, here we go. Pogba had to
hold on. 5 touches. That's what you do.
Okay. So let's round this sector up very simply because we still need to talk about certain things that happen in the game. Karim, you say Ole is not the man. Who should be the man for Man United? And who do you think will have a better control if Ole goes next tomorrow, whatever? Who do you think can actually keep Man United in the top 4 this season? And that question goes to everybody but Karim.
Sorry, was it January or new season?
Let's say Solskjaer gets the axe tomorrow. Dun dun dun. While Karim is thinking.
No, I honestly think that they wouldn't bring any big names at this stage. I think it will be another interim managerial thing. So they'll probably give it to Carrick or maybe might even give in, I don't know, someone along them lines. just fill the gap until the end of the year. Then I'll probably think they'll start looking at the big names, the Contes, the Zidans and stuff like that. Me personally.
I mean, Mike, I did a small filler on Instagram, and I said everybody wants Ole out, but who do you replace him with? And of course, the two names that kept on coming was Conte and Zidane. Who do you think should take over right now?
Right now, I wouldn't replace him because he's still able to get top four. The only reason why you replace him now is if you think you can go and win the title or Champions League. If you think that, then you replace him now. If you're only aiming for top four right now, well, he's capable of getting you top four. Man United are as good as the other people chasing, the Leicesters, the Tottenhams, the Evertons, and the Arsenals. So if before you're looking at his top four for this season, let's say, okay, let's look at the kit in the summer, then you might as well keep him. If you want to go for something higher than that, right now, you have to go like now then you're looking at the Contes, the Zidanes, well, not Zidanes, but the Contes is part of this one.
Okay. AK?
Long-term replacement for me would be Pochettino.
Hey man, Karim can go mad.
Karim will cry. Don't say that. Karim will just start crying. Karim will get in my United shirt right away.
I'm ignoring him, man. I'm ignoring him.
But why would Poch leave PSG to go Man United? I don't understand.
I don't think he'll leave. I think
he'll just work out. Like the way PSG is playing right now, I think they forced so many signings on him. He's just struggling to integrate everybody and keep everybody happy.
But they're still in the league though.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can win the French league. Look at the players they have.
Steve, who do you think?
If they were to replace him in the summer, I reckon. I'm not too.
No, now, not summer.
Replace him now. I'd say Brendan Rodgers.
Big shot.
Because I reckon you can get him to go Man United, and I think he can definitely do something.
Yeah,
maybe don't know about winning the league with what he's got, but he could definitely do something Man United, and he will stay there for a while.
First signing Ndidi from Leicester and Tielemans straight away.
Mate, I'll tell you, he Rodgers will get something more out of them. But yeah, for me, it would be Rodgers. I'm not too sure about they'll go down the Conte route, or if they can find Laurent Blanc.
If you find him in whatever hole he's in.
Exactly.
All right. I will come back to the Man United because I said they're talking points from the game and certain players will have to look at. But let's start the week. Let's go back to how the weekend started, and of course Arsenal doing very well against Aston Villa. The Emirates is alive again. Aubameyang looking nice as he has scored 4 straight home games. But the key man that I want to talk about when it comes to Arsenal, I don't understand why a lot of noise is not being made about him, especially when the likes of Foden and Saka were coming up and everybody was just making noise. Key man, Emile Smith-Rowe. First of all, personally, I think that guy should be tested for drugs because he runs non-stop, head always up. Every time he gets the ball, he never looks backwards. He just just wants to go forward. But his football is so simple in the sense that I get the ball, push it forward, pass the ball, make the run. And he's very influential in that top half. And this is somebody that is non-stop. Now, so my first question, of course, we always, in these situations, you always start with the enemy. Karim, what do you think about Emile Smith-Rowe?
Yeah.
He's good. He is good. Can't lie about it. He's good. I'm thinking with my England head at the moment.
What? It's Jamaican.
So yeah, I think he's a good prospect for England, and I'm looking forward to what he can do for us in the future.
Okay, and AK, outside perspective, you seem to not like when a player is bigged up too much or too early. So what do you think about Emile Smith-Rowe?
He's very good. I like him and Saka. Arsenal have got 2 gems on their hands. Yeah, he's very, very good. I like the way he runs with the ball. He's got a good work ethic. Yeah, and I enjoy really watching him. He's very, very good.
How long do you think he will stay at Arsenal with this inform, Mike?
Well, he said he wants to stay forever. So
everybody, Van Persie said that. Remember him?
No, I don't remember actually. No, I think he'll stay because we're in a transitional stage, blah, blah, blah. So we say, and he's getting the games now. He loves the club and I think when we get to his next contract, whenever that is, he just signed now, isn't it? When he gets to the next contract, then we might have to worry. But for now, as long as he's playing, he'll stay.
So Steve, what's Emile Smith-Rowe doing that seems so wonderful and magical compared to the other players at Arsenal? Why has he all of a sudden brought this spark to the team?
He keeps it simple. He keeps the ball moving. He plays with pace, not only in pace of his game, but pace of his mind. So he's thinking ahead. It's like one or two touches, the ball keeps moving, the team keeps moving forward. Yeah, so it's not he does, and because of there's other players in the Arsenal side that always slow stuff down, he stands out even more.
So where's his actually, AK, from what you have seen, and where's Emile Smith's actual best position? Behind the striker, box to box? What exactly is his position actually? Is he like a Saint Maximum where you can just put him anywhere on the pitch and let him do what he needs to do?
That's a very good question. I think the first time I watched him, he played on the left and he played very well. I've actually not seen him have a bad game, maybe because I've not watched too many Arsenal games. I've seen him play on the right, I've seen him play through the middle. But there was one particular game I saw him play with Odegaard. So him, Odegaard, and one other DM. And that was some real good football I witnessed that day. So the three of them. So imagine playing Partey, Odegaard, and ESR in the middle. So behind the striker, I think is his best position, just because I saw a good combination between him and Odegaard in that game.
How much influence, Mike, do you think Teta has had in terms of developing ESR and making him what he is today? Or is it just luck of the draw, found a good kid from the lower team and brought him on? Or do you think Arteta has actually helped in terms of molding him to the player he is today?
I think it's maybe 70-30. So he came through under, what's his face? Lumberg anyway. Yeah, so it wasn't like he picked him. And then he wasn't even playing him till he got really shit. Then he just thought, oh, what the hell? And he started playing him. So I won't give him that credit. But since he started playing him and giving him a new contract, I would imagine that because he's a coach, good touch as a coach, I would imagine he has improved his game to a degree. But I think a lot of that is down to the talent of the player, and then he's just given the time and the time and minutes to actually develop and play. Because I think he always had that in him. That's why he got brought in the first place. You can't give Arteta that. They're just giving him the stage with which to show his skills now. Meanwhile, man went and bought Odegaard. It's another story.
So I was also about to ask that. So it obviously Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe, it depends on who they are playing. Emile Smith-Rowe seems like he can play anywhere.
Yeah, he can.
So Emile Smith-Rowe, Steve, first man on the team sheet right now, or would you still say that's Tierney?
Saka, mate. You're talking about Tierney.
I wouldn't say either, to be honest. But I wouldn't say Emile Smith-Rowe is the first name on the team sheet. I do have a concern about what it's going to be like for him towards the end of the season, through fatigue and stuff.
Apparently, speaking to AK offline, it's a young player. There's no such thing as burnout.
Well, once you put it in their head, they believe he's burnout. So, yeah, the one concern I do have about his game is his finishing, because I think sometimes he does get in positions where he can score and he doesn't. So that's going to be interesting to see how that develops over his career. With regards to how long he'll stay at Arsenal, I think he'll be there for a long while, because the managers that have the money at the top clubs, will they come in and buy a top English player? Not really, not 100% sure. So I think he'll be there for a long while, provided Arsenal can continue to progress.
Looking at his form and all that, the way he has impacted the team, Karim, what other teams do you see him playing in terms of style of play, or do you see him contributing to other things? Obviously, it's not going to come to you, but what other teams do you see him playing in?
I can't. I think I watched an interview of his on the week where he turned around and said that he is Arsenal through and through. He's obviously come through the academy and stuff, and he's working hard and training and doing what he needs to do. So I can see him definitely being an Arsenal player. Like, I don't know. I can't really see him. If anything, it probably will be one like Man City, as everyone seems to be going. All the big English players seem to be going there, because Newcastle could be coming in and throwing stupid bread at him, and he could be yapping it up. But I can see him just staying at Arsenal, if I'm honest, especially with the likes of Aubameyang probably going in the next 2 years. Lacazette football going. Like it's just he's gonna be the main man. Saka's gonna be the main man. Why not? He can start getting his big bread as well.
So when you look at the Arsenal team, okay, you have Martinelli if he can stay fit. You have ESR. You have Odegaard. You have Saka. You have Lukonga that's looking good. You have
Tavares.
You have Tavares. So it's a young team that's coming up and looking really nice. So would you say, in terms of the beginning of the start of the season and Arteta and all the stick he was getting, so is it that we can conclude right now that it's Arteta in right now? Nobody's thinking about Arteta going, and he definitely has the players, the energy and the work rate with these players, or is it a case of they're too young?
I've always maintained Arteta should stay. I like Arteta, and I like the team he has currently. I like the youthfulness of the team. He's got an interesting left back. I've never seen that guy play before until against Villa. And
Tavares.
Tavares is like he's a machine. Yeah, I mean, it's very good to have this kind of competition because obviously I'm a big fan of Tierney. But yeah, he's got some interesting players. Lukonga is not too bad. Yes, he's made 1 or 2 mistakes, but there's an energy and youthfulness, in this Arsenal team, and also some air of positivity. If you look at the game against Crystal Palace, the way they celebrated the 2-2 draw, the last minute, equalizer, it was almost like a victory. But that just kind of shows you there's a momentum growing in that team. They believe something good is about to happen. And you never know, they could win an FA Cup or something and pick up a trophy at the end of the season.
I mean, things are looking as if the equilibrium is just going, ooh, because when the season started, it was sweet on the right side of North London. And of course, it was shaky on the red side. Mike wanted Arteta out. Steve said he was the board. AK was just laughing because Southampton don't have these problems. And now Tottenham have gone from to Does Tottenham have the same Man United issue of not knowing what to expect your team is playing? Bearing in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Tottenham is playing Manchester United next. Karim, how do you see that game going?
Draw, if I'm completely honest. I can't see us winning it the way we're playing ball at the moment.
Harry Kane scoring though.
Harry Kane is scoring. And Ndombele is scoring as well. So I think it's going to be a 2-2 goal.
So who's scoring for Manchester United?
Ronaldo. Greenwood.
And Cavani.
Oh, look at that. Steve, how do you see
4-4-2?
How do you see that match turning out? Because Karim doesn't think his team will win, but he doesn't think Manchester
No, not at all.
will win.
I just think we're just both in a club where we're just both in limbo, and I don't think no disrespect to Nuno. As I said, I'll never wish for a Tottenham manager to ever be sacked, but I don't know, man. I just don't think he's got the formula for the Tottenham boys there at the moment.
But I don't think you're in the same bracket as Man United because your squad is nowhere near as good as theirs.
Yeah, it's true. We haven't got the capabilities,
and Nuno's just come, but Ollie's been there for 2-3 years. You're not even in the same.
Yeah,
you're getting the same results.
You're talking as if Nuno just came from space. He has been in the Premier League.
Yeah, but he just came to. But he came to Spurs. Man's had 9 games. Ollie's had what 90 games, whatever it is. You can't compare them. You can't compare them. How can you compare the two?
It looks like Tottenham are also struggling to score goals.
Yeah, but
I think
that's to be expected given he's trying to implement a style. What's Ollie's excuse? Because he's been implementing style for 2 years.
Once again, we've talked about Ole, and when I said he was tackling Neptis, I was being harsh. So no excuse. However, the West Ham Tottenham game, Steve.
No, hold on. I don't think Man United will lose. They'll either win or draw, but they won't lose that game. They've got more. They've got more to hurt Tottenham than Tottenham have got to hurt Man United.
But
Harry Kane is probably the one striker that Maguire would like to play against because of the way he plays the game. Yeah, so Maguire's probably going to have a more comfortable afternoon. The way Tottenham play, they're not going to hurt. I don't believe they're going to hurt Man United the way other teams can with pace.
Bearing in mind, Tottenham did beat Man United 6-1 last season.
Yeah, they got Son and Bergwijn.
Yeah, they beat 6-1. Wasn't it 6-1 at Old Trafford?
Yeah,
Bergwijn feet.
Yeah.
Bergwijn feet.
Say again?
I don't know.
His big
Well,
one. Is he fit?
Yeah, he
now?
played against Vitesse in the Conference League. They lost 1-0, but he
Oh,
started that
Jesus.
game. So
But well, if you
I'm
can't,
going for a Man United win.
how much?
I just don't think Man United will lose that game.
£5.
well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a betting platform.
But
But I mean, it's good that our wonderful grassroots pundits speak their mind. It's very up and down for Tottenham and Manchester United at the time. Karim has always stated that he doesn't like any. I don't like any Tottenham manager being sacked, but I'll take Pochettino, which means Nuno will get sacked. But he just wouldn't say those words "sacked" as he agrees. Moving on in terms of managerial tactics and all that, everybody has hailed Benitez as wonderful, keeps his team compact, but he conceded 5 against Claudio Ranieri to the wonderful hat-trick from Josh King. Now, when you watch that game, Tottenham started well. Does Benitez get to that level where he can only take the team to be as compact as they can, and that's it? And then once they play a team that is patient, they'll always, concede goals? Or was Claudio Ranieri just doing his Claudio Ranieri thing and creating games that nobody expects? What do you think, Steve?
that Everton game is a bit puzzling because Everton, how can I say, it was about the 60-minute mark. They just changed. They were playing well in the first half. They were creating chances and stuff like that. And then I don't know what happened, but they just changed.
That's a discipline.
Which is very unlike a Benitez team.
Exactly, very unlike a Benitez team. They just, I was trying to put my finger on it. I watched the highlights a couple of times and I couldn't put my finger on it. But there was some fortune for Watford in the way the ball broke and stuff. But Everton just became wide open, and I'm not sure why.
Going back to strikers union, Mike, what do you think about Josh King? Because he has had a very up-down. He was good in Bournemouth. He was loaned to, who was he loaned to last season?
Everton.
Yeah, and he didn't even play.
And now he's looking like he's the thing. I mean, Troy Deeney did leave Watford and is now in Birmingham. Scored their goals against Swansea on Saturday. So, look at Birmingham hadn't scored in 6. Troy Deeney is doing his thing. But they don't seem like they're missing Troy Deeney, and Josh King seems like he's the guy. Would you rate him in the same levels of the Ings, Callum Wilsons, or is he one of those on his day he could be wonderful?
It's too early to say where you rate him because he had a point to prove against Everton. And as you know, when you've got a point to prove, suddenly you play 120% more. That's the bottom line. So it's whether he can do that, because he won't always be as up for it as he was against Everton. It's just not possible. He was all over the place. So I think we have to wait and see. I think he's a good player. I think he's more than adequate to replace Troy Deeney. He's got all the attributes. And as you saw, his finishing was pretty decent as well against Everton. But let's give him another 10 games and let's see what he's doing before we rate him.
Claudio Ranieri, is he keeping Watford up, AK?
No.
Yes.
I said that before.
It's like you read his mind, boy, for that question.
So I think Mr. Thanos said something very interesting. So I think the last 3 goals actually came in the last 10 minutes. So the 5-2 is not really a good reflection of how the game actually went. So Everton just fell apart in the last 10 minutes of the game. Maybe because they were chasing for the 3rd goal, because they were always ahead. So 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, then 2-2, trying to find the 3rd goal, which is potentially going to be the winner of the game. And they brought in Richarlison from the bench. I think he scored the 2nd goal. So they were chasing the winner and obviously got torn apart and considered 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. So yeah, so I think it's a bit too early to start getting excited. I still expect Watford to go down.
Karim, what do you think? Watford going down or Claudio Ranieri keep them up?
I think Watford's going to go down. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
them and Norwich are probably the guaranteed ones to go down at this moment in time. To be honest, it's just that 3rd spot for me or one who's going to go down.
Okay. Well, Mike?
You think he'll keep them up?
Okay. And looking at teams that are struggling, I mean, Norwich, everybody believes
They're
They're gone.
Leeds?
Maybe they got found out now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
I mean, but Bielsa is, as I said, it's always. I mean, you guys think Solskjaer is bad. That guy actually structures his team to concede sweet goals. Sweet goals.
Yeah, but even he has a style of play. It's just not working.
It's not, I mean, there's been found out. There's been caught up with.
Yeah, been found out. So he's not going to change it. So he needs better players.
Okay, so going back to the Man United Liverpool game.
Thank you.
Should Ronaldo have been sent off, Karim? When he pretty much attacked Curtis Jones.
Yeah, definitely. And Curtis Jones, to show the way that he stood up and showed them what time it was, I rated it. To be honest. But yeah.
I did say respect to Curtis Jones for not making a goal out of it, but Ronaldo did kick the ball though. It's not like he kicked the guy. The foul was.
So there's questions about.
What are you talking about?
So what was he being sent off for? Because when the incident took place, the referee hadn't blown, had he? He was fighting for the ball. So when he kicked the ball and it hit Curtis Jones.
No, it didn't hit.
On the referee.
No.
That's on the referee ball.
Did you watch it? He didn't kick the ball. Okay, so the ball was in the guy's midriff. So is he going to kick the ball through the guy's body?
There was no contact with the player. He took all ball. Right. So the only reason to send Ronaldo off is if the referee had blown and that was a reaction afterwards. Yeah. If the referee hadn't blown, right, and he kicked the ball, he's not sending off. He's not the ball.
He's too aggressive. It was too aggressive.
It's intent.
Yeah, exactly.
He intended to kick the ball.
He kicked out on him.
He did.
He basically all he did was.
I like Ronaldo, but he's kicked out on him.
All he did was the only thing that you can grey area is that he kicked the ball. But essentially the ball wasn't going anywhere. The ball was in the guy's midriff. There's no way he can play that ball anywhere else. He kicked the ball with the intention, out of frustration, with the intention to not hurt the guy, but give him some, basically. Yeah. That's basically it. You can't say it was different if he was trying to actually pass the ball. He wasn't. Just kicking the ball into the guy's midriff. It's like kicking the ball in someone's head and say, "Well, I'll kick the ball." We all know what he intended. You can't do that. It's out of frustration. If that was Pogba, man's get sent off.
Well, Pogba did get sent off, and
he's back. Yeah.
And AK
got champagne.
It was Pogba's fault. Man United lost, even if he came in the second half.
They already 4-0 down by then, anyway.
But he lost the ball for the 5th goal. 15 minutes coming. Considered 1 goal. Got sent off.
Okay, but still got back beat 5-0. You're blaming Pogba. What about the first half?
Another talking point. Obviously, Mo Salah, congratulations.
For the player.
Hat-trick.
AK called it as well.
My AK called it. My United even a bigger superstar than he is. But now, of course, the next player in question is Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka, in terms of closing down he was, in my opinion, responsible or part of the issue for the second goal, actually. First or second goal, anyway. He pressed him.
First goal, for sure.
Now, because of the levels Wan-Bissaka has set, yes, that was a terrible positioning. But AK, as I was talking to AK AK believes Wan-Bissaka is actually not a good player, and he wouldn't have it in his team. What do you? Let's start with that face, Mike.
Wan-Bissaka is a good defender, but it depends what you want from your
good slider
right back. It depends what you want. If you want someone who's going to be solid at the back, win your one-on-one duels most of the time, and keep you reasonably compact. I know you had a bad game on Sunday. That's Wan-Bissaka. If you want a more expansive wing back who's going to get forward and get crosses in the box, that's not Wan-Bissaka. So primarily for me, I want my guys to defend first and foremost before they attack. But for you, if you want to Trent Alexander, then Wan-Bissaka is not your guy.
All the big teams always play with attacking fullbacks or wing backs. Look at PSG.
Well, not Man United.
Karimi, what's the Hakim? Yeah, is that his name, right?
Yeah,
Hakimi.
Yeah, Hakimi. Yeah. So I mean, I've watched this guy in real life as well. Like he can't even control the ball most of the time. His first touch is awful. it's almost like, did this guy actually go to an academy? Like,
but that's not what he's in the. But that's not what he's in the team for.
How can you not know how to control the ball?
No, that's not what he's in the team for, though.
Wan-Bissaka's got kind of like an unfair. How can I say? It's unfair situation because he's at Crystal Palace. He done a year, and then he got a £50 million move to Man United. Yeah. So he never got the opportunity to sort of like play at a medium level in the league and then take the step up. He's been taking a step up, and he's gone to a club when they're in a bad way. Yeah. He's fantastic at a one-on-one. If you tell Wan-Bissaka, you got a left winger, that's your guy, he'll be fantastic. Yeah. Makes recovery tackles, keeps the man in check. Very rarely have I seen him being in the game where the left winger just taken him out completely and just left him for dead. Yeah. But if you're asking him to now go forward, be more advanced, that's where, to me,
no, he's still all right going forward.
There's going to be a weakness. That's the weakness in his game, is going forward, especially if you haven't got a right centre back who's gonna manage him through the game.
But hold on. But does Man United's style of play even require an expensive fullback? It doesn't. So he fits their style of play. You put him in Liverpool, maybe we can talk about him being whack or not whack. But Man United,
where you're seeing the mistakes, like as in yesterday's game, was him being in advanced positions, trying to press higher up than just sitting.
You said that in terms of
that's all the defense.
Wan-Bissaka is always a guy that you don't need him to push forward and do all that. However, if you look at last season and throughout his stay in Man United, I mean, in terms of games like against Man City where he's locking the likes of Sterling up and locking. I mean, yesterday was a bad game against Liverpool. Bad all around, but AK believes Wan-Bissaka should be benched and Dalot should always start.
Yep. If you're playing against teams like even Aston Villa, Everton, you need your right back to be in advanced position and whip the ball in.
But that's only 8 games. But that's only 8 games then.
That guy cannot cross the ball at all. Like literally, he's that terrible.
Okay, but how many times are you going to play those
something is
teams?
missing. So I watched Dalot last season on loan to AC Milan. He was awesome. He was very good. The guy can cross the ball.
But he can't defend as well as.
Yeah, but TA cannot defend. Hakimi cannot defend. These guys cannot. Danny Alves cannot defend. But
that's a different team.
These are world-class right backs, right?
Yeah.
So playing for a team like Man United.
That is a topic.
That doesn't make sense, man. Because that's not how they play. You can't just put a wing back in the team
and not have.
That doesn't make sense. That's not how they play.
How do they play then? Defensive? Because if they're defensive, why did they lose 5-0?
You can't say, well, they don't always lose 5-0, but you can't say, oh, just put wing back on the team and the team that doesn't play wing backs. It doesn't make sense.
He can't even control the ball. Like his first touch is horrible.
But that's what it doesn't matter.
At this level,
you want fair judgment. When
you're just making it personal, because the bottom line is the guy can defend better than Dalot. That's why he's in the team. If he couldn't defend better than Dalot will be in the team. It's as simple as that. Ole ain't blind. So Ole knows what he wants.
Is that the reason why you think Klopp started Jota instead of Mane? Because Jota's movement is more and more,
and probably selfless as well. Because there's a time.
I think Mane also had a knock. He had a knock against.
So then it will throw someone like Wan-Bissaka's game off because he's not got that constant.
Yeah.
Threat on the left
maybe,
to worry about.
Maybe.
You might be right in terms of movement for Jota, but I mean the past couple of games, Wan-Bissaka has always had a very good duo with Mane. Probably always won it.
Yeah. Physical players like Mane, Sterling, he's gonna win because it's like you're doing exactly what he knows how to do best: running back, sliding, all those kind of things. But when you bring maybe a bit more silky player like let's say Bernardo Silva, someone like Bernardo Silva will trouble that guy.
He has played against them and so far nothing. It was very bad positioning. Okay, which takes us to the last segment, and the weekend has been the weekend. But so I would like each of you to please tell me player of the week. It could be from any match, any team, and the flop of the week. I'll go last.
Player of the week's got to be for me. It's a hat trick at your enemy's ground, isn't it? It's got to be Salah. It's got to be Salah. Even though the Southampton right back, what's his name?
Luke
Pimento. He was impressive in their game. Yeah, he was a real handful. But yeah, definitely Salah has to take it.
And your flop?
Flop of the week. It's either Norwich City or Harry Maguire.
Big one, man.
Probably Norwich City, innit? 7-0, boys. Battered.
Oh, good. Karim, player of the week and flop of the week.
Troy Barrett.
I thought you were going to say that earlier, you know.
He scored a hat-trick.
I was waiting.
He scored a hat-trick this week.
There you go then.
No, I don't know if he scored a hat-trick. I'm playing. But yeah, it's got to be Mo Salah. Just showed why he's in the Ballon d'Or, and he should be respected really as one of the top 3 players in the world. And my flop of the week has to go to the Graham Souness and AK special. Pogba. I mean, you can't come off the bench, then give away a goal, and then get a red card, man. Like, that's just an L in it, really.
But where is it? You know, you say gave away a goal, right? But yeah, I know he lost the ball, right? But
in the middle of the park.
In the middle of the field. But what makes that goal is the pass from Jordan Henderson.
It was a great pass.
That's a fantastic pass. So Man United still had enough not to concede from that, losing the ball. But go on.
Yeah, but if he didn't score, the pass wouldn't happen.
He was standing on the ball. He's trying to show how
He
strong
did.
He got pounced on. He did get pounced on.
Typical Pogba.
He did get pounced on. But anyway.
All right.
But yeah, that's me.
Mike, player of the week, flop of the week.
Salah. Apparently, they said he's one of the first people to score a hat-trick at Old Trafford. I don't know if that's true.
Kite is the second, I think.
Who's the first?
Kite scored in Anfield.
Oh, Dirk.
Yeah.
Well, that's how he scored.
In Anfield. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
he's the first one to score at Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford. Yeah, he's the first
in the league.
Yeah, so got to give him that. Obviously, basically.
And he got an African award as well, didn't he? For most goals.
Yeah, he's the highest. He broke Drogba's record for the highest scoring Premier League.
He's got to be African Player of the Year when that comes around, surely. But flop of the. I mean, good shout to Pogba. That's a flop move there. But mate, Mr. Patel Head himself, Maguire. What's going on? Yeah, like your captain, 70 mil. Man, fix up.
80 mil.
Jesus
Christ. Plus that week interview afterwards as well.
Man's running into his left back. What's going on? It's madness. It's shambles. So yeah, him basically.
And AK, player of the week, flop of the week.
Player of the week, very easy one. Mo Salah is just unbelievable. He's been good. He's been playing on this level for at least 5 years, 4 or 5 years. He's been world class, like unbelievable player, wonderful player. Like he's just too good. So I'll go for him. That's an easy choice. The flop of the week, I'll be nice to Pogba for the first time.
Wow.
I forgot.
I'm gonna choose Maguire. Just because he's the captain of the team and he just showed no leadership yesterday. He was all over the place. There was a time during the first half he literally just blasted the ball to throw in because he was so scared of the pressing of Liverpool. He literally just looked at the throwing line and just blasted the ball.
Imagine you lot paid more money for him than Van Dijk.
Ed Woodward, man, wherever you are, you just, I don't know, get like an appendix or something. Anyway, so my player of the week, because I would not give Salah, just because I'm that guy and I'm the enemy. My player of the week is Mason Mount, hat-trick against Norwich and beginning to look...
Really? Oh, JJ, man. I expected better, man.
It's my player. I didn't
better, man. Oh, man.
Hat-trick against Norwich or hat-trick against Man United.
And what was a penalty?
At Old Trafford.
I'm not.
And he missed a penalty as well.
I'm not going to give Salah, man. Come on. It's as Karim did. He ran away with the Emile Smith question, saying he uses England head. I'm using. I don't know what head I'm using, but I'll give
African head.
Give it to Mason Mount, and of course, flop. My good God, don't even get Maguire. Lord God have mercy. That guy, he doesn't need Ole. He needs Jesus, man. He needs saving. He's very inconsistent as captain of Man United. He's making too many floppy, basic mistakes. And it is the fact that he's not, the Justin Henry is the bench him. I said he's not even fit. He's struggling. Pace. No, he was found out and was found out badly this weekend. But it is all good, ladies and gentlemen. That brings us to the end of this episode of Grassroot Chats. Karim, thank you for joining. Yes.
One more thing before we go, sign off. Co-flop of the week, Mourinho, 6-1 spanking. Now you can end the show.
All right. All right.
His excuse was he played with his second team and he has no squad. He has a good first team, but has no squad.
He said I have a good first team, but I don't have a squad. So,
yeah.
And he said the team wasn't bad today. It was just the squad. But ladies and gentlemen, the Grassroot Boys, the squad is wonderful. Thank you for listening to us and see you and goodbye.